Welcome to the Indian Tech Icon Spotlight, where every story is a blueprint of innovation and leadership. I'm your host, Sheetalohal Acharya, and let's welcome our guest, Mr. Swaroop George, who is a dynamic leader transforming energy landscape through cutting-edge digital solutions. Hi, Swaroop.
Thank you, Sheeta. That was quite an introduction. I don't think I deserve half of that.
No, you definitely deserve that, Swaroop, because you are just setting up, benchmark in the industry. So welcome to our show, and it's really a pleasure for us to have you with us today.
Thank you. You're kind. Thank you.
Swaroop, let's start with your career journey,
Sure.
Where it all began and your career progression till your current role.
Sure. Where it all began in a small village in Kerala. Somewhere in the middle of Kerala, went to a normal school, aimless teenager for a while, and we all have those stages where you are aimless teenagers. At some point, I think I got interested in technology just because I liked exploring things, right? In the sense that just observing and exploring and understanding what it means. Still, studies were not prominent in your mind when you're growing up that way. So I had my very normal, used to be called pre-degree at the time. There was no plus two. Very normal pre-degree. Then I was figuring out what to do when I worked for all you know in a hotel for about 8 months. It was quite rebellious at the time because you were expected to finish your plus two, go do a degree or an engineering degree of some sort, and then continue on with the journey, right? But I wanted to take a break, explore something, figure out what I wanted to do. And then I did my BSc in computers because computers was quite prominent at the time.
That's
Everybody was doing that. People were making lots of money. So money was the first motivation, right? Plus the fact that I like technology. Then I did my master's. Around the degree time, got a little more serious in my studies, and then master's was good. Not the top scorer, but I was always exploring other things, right, beyond the syllabus, trying out new projects and things of that sort. And then worked in a small company, a product company. I actually graduated from, I graduated into the recession of 2002, 2003, if you remember. Yeah. So it was a time when nobody was getting offers. There was, my seniors were actually getting rejection letters after confirmed offers and all that. It was a quite tumultuous time. And I was lucky enough to get into a product company for a training period, and then they confirmed me. So it was good. Like you were looking for income, however small that was. And then 8 months later, Sapien happened. That's probably one of the biggest breakthroughs I've had in my career, early career. Joined a fantastic team at Sapien. We're doing an energy project for a big company in Canada. And it was a project for 3 years, custom development, enjoyed a lot. And then I moved to Toronto with Sapien, continued there for about 2 years. Moved to Calgary when Sapien was setting up office here. I probably would have been first or second employee. I can't remember. I think the first person was Bill Sykes. No, actually, I was the first one. Bill joined formally a couple of months later as the VP of Business Development, and I was a developer at the time, right? I was a senior associate at the time. Continued with Sapien, multiple companies. I traveled quite a bit. I did work in New York, Toronto, San Fran, Houston, all over the place, but home based still in Calgary. Got married in between, so we decided that Calgary is the best place to raise our kids and settle into a comfortable life. Right? It's a small city, manageable, mountains close by. So everything with respect to that, it just worked for us. Yeah, and then after 17 years that I'm at Sapien, I quit for a little bit, did some independent contracting exploration work. Then I've been with IBM for about 4 years as an associate partner for energy, environment, and utility. So anything energy, but a lot on the utility side, mostly power utility side. So that's what I do now.
That's a wonderful journey and kind of enriching experience you have. Now let's talk about your current role, Swaroop. What are
Sure.
your day-to-day responsibilities and how does the usual workday look like for you?
Usual work day. My daughters will tell me it's a lot of meetings. But it's I work with a lot of the energy and utilities clients in a couple of different sort of capacities. One is if we have ongoing delivery work that we've committed to in any of those clients, making sure that there is an escalation path and making sure the delivery is happening well, and we kind of living up to the client expectations and the client satisfaction in those engagements. Second part of my job is incremental growth for IBM, be it existing clients in terms of organic growth, or could be new logos, right? New clients that we want to work with. So opening those doors. And a lot of that is about understanding client problems, articulating the value that we can bring, and then making a compelling case to start looking at IBM as a viable option for solving those problems. The third part is what we call industry eminence. So advancing thought leadership in the energy and utility space for IBM. So that's a third expectation, job profile, whatever you call it. Something that I'm quite interested in too. I have a deep interest in the industry.
So you talked about solving clients' problems. So what are the typical challenges you usually see in explaining to them the solution?
So it depends. It depends from client to client to client, right? It's also all unique problems many of the times, but underlying every problem is either operational efficiency, it's customer satisfaction, customer retain, the ability to retain customers, and then fundamentally transforming the business to achieve those efficiencies. So when you say operational efficiency, is not just the dollars and the projects that they do, it's also people productivity. So a lot of angles come out of that, but at the highest level, it is really that, right? And each client struggles with a different problem. Some of the clients that we help right now is effective for forecasting with respect to consumption of resources, with respect to sustainability, all of that, price forecasting, things of that sort. Some other clients are more worried about systems that are legacy systems, right? Running, and so the enterprise need to be transformed. A lot of the ERP transformation programs that's going on right now in the marketplace. So it almost like there is sometimes a flavor of the year too, when there is for example, SAP announcing they want to move to S/4HANA, they want every client to move to S/4HANA. All of a sudden, see a lot of clients wanting to do that, right? And the ability to guide a client effectively through that. Not many consultants around who can do that. We see a lot of action in AI right now, be it exploring regulatory compliance, generative AI, regulatory compliance using generative AI, or agents, agentic AI, just support agents for field users, voice, chatbots, all sorts of things. So there's a lot of innovation and thinking happening in the space right now. A lot of the clients are evaluating what they need to do in the space.
Talking about the AI now, let's talk about the cognitive AI. Which industries do you think will get benefited most using cognitive?
All industries. I think there's a favorite saying: AI is the new electricity, and that by what do you mean by that? Electricity sort of powered the industrial revolution, right? It changed the world as we knew it. A lot of us are young enough to remember, young that we can't remember all of those. We didn't go through those, but it is what effectively powered the industrial revolution, right? Everything that you look around, it's a product of electricity. Without electricity, the world would look completely different. AI, in a way, is a new electricity. It's going to fundamentally change how people work, what people work on, how productive they are. There's going to be two categories of people. There's going to be people who can effectively use AI, and people who cannot, who are still figuring it out, right? I think those are the tectonic shifts happening right now.
You also talked about migration to SAP S4 HANA.
Yeah.
So what is your approach in deciding what should be, which part of the project should be on-prem and what should go to cloud?
Oh, so I'm not an expert in SAP by any means. I'm an industry guy. I have a lot of very talented colleagues who does those migration. But my perspective is it should be cloud first. There is no reason why in this age and era somebody should be just thinking about on-prem. It doesn't help you with risk management, right? You're managing a data center. You're responsible for everything. You don't get to use the computing power that hyperscalers can give you. You don't get the security and protection, right? And security is a very contentious topic, particularly within utilities, because a lot of the clients think that keeping it on-prem is secure. I tend to disagree, and a lot of experts would tend to disagree, because it's not a question whether cloud is secure. Cloud is always secure. It is about whether you've implemented the right security controls for your cloud. Right. That's the question to answer.
We can call it's a myth when we say that on-prem is secure these days.
Yeah, that's a very blanket statement that doesn't work anymore. And I think people are realizing that. One of the last industries to wake up to that fact was, I would think, utilities. One of the first ones to embrace that was probably financial services. But again, in the regulated business, it's kind of tough, right? It's not just about a computing decision, it's also an accounting decision in every, because you've got to figure out operational expenses versus capital expenses. Again, that's a rabbit hole. I can go down that, but probably not worth that conversation. But yeah, cloud first. That would be my strong opinion.
Swaroop, let's talk about your team. You mentioned you have a team who manages the technical side, and obviously you will have the entire team managing a certain project.
Correct.
So what are the core qualities that you look for in your team members other than the technical skill sets?
Yeah. Perseverance, grit. What I mean by that is being able to push through and struggle through a problem and get to the solution. Good attitude to learn, always learning, and open to learning. Client focus, as in you're laser focused on what the client's desired outcomes are and how you can enable that. How each action that you take counts to that. Because in the consulting industry, if you don't have a client that is satisfied, that's sort of end game for you, right? Not only that, we all are, what do you get up in the morning, right? You have to make the world a better place. And in our chosen field in consulting, what you can impact is your client's life, right? And not just the business outcomes, but also individually for them, because each client is taking a bet on you, saying that I'm going to work with you and I'm going to put my personal reputation, my professional credibility on the line to work with you. So it's up to us to make sure that that's maintained. So that's and then, just be a nice person to everybody in the team, right? I have zero tolerance for politics. Not that it happens, and most organizations it doesn't, but there are organizations where it happens. Be just open and approachable, and do the best for your team. That's all you need. Collectively, we do well when you do that.
So people management is one of the difficult skill sets, right?
Absolutely.
So how do you manage, or what's your approach in managing conflicts within your team?
Be really, really candidly open. Keep titles out, right? So you can't say, oh, I'm this guy, I'm going to go figure out what's wrong with the team. Right? Listen first. Have an open mind. Listen to the concerns, constraints. Solicit opinions, because everybody will have an opinion. It will count towards a final outcome. Some will get discounted and discarded along the way, but still, the solution lies within the team. You don't need to invent something. As a leader, what you need to do is to enable the right culture so that this team can solve it. So yeah, openness, and cultivating the culture of attacking the problem without titles, cultivating the culture of being honest and constructive. Open doesn't mean that you can just trash anybody, right? Open means that you're being constructive in your feedback. You're being constructive in looking at the problem, and you're being you're not opinionated in looking at the problem in a way that it closes you from all other opinions. Right? So that's what's important.
Right. And then you have managed multiple teams across different locations.
Yeah.
You have managed multiple projects. How do you think your role as a leader has evolved all those years?
The way you get more responsibilities is by demonstrating competency in the current role and then potential for future roles, right? And so its fundamental is like leadership is about empathy, leadership is about courage. So if people see, and I think what helped me is the fact that I was empathetic and had good listening skills and good problem solving skills. I could get along with people, and I cared for people. That was a big factor. I care for the client, which is fundamental across, right? So and a lot of good mentors who corrected you when you did a misstep or patiently guided you the right way. That's has to be there in every professional's life. My approach to leadership through the years, it's kind of remained unchanged. Be humble. You're not the smartest guy in the room. Leadership doesn't mean that you're the smartest guy in the room. Often you're not. The best thing that you can do is have good listening skills and ask the right questions to the team so that they can come up with the best solutions and the creative solutions, and give credit where it's due. Don't say that my team solved it, right? Or I solved it with my team. Say that my team solved it. And these are the people who deserve the credit. So that's likely my style.
Yeah, that's a wonderful perspective. Now, there's one question which I, love to ask to every leader about the time management. With all the competing priorities, how do you prioritize your tasks? What's your approach, or what's your, framework in deciding?
So multitasking is a given, right? But if we were to start it with what are the outcomes that I'm trying to achieve through doing something, and sort of time box it and make sure that you're moving, right? Like it's not you're stuck in something, you spend 5 hours on it. No, right? Like, so as long as you're clear on what you want to accomplish for the day, for the week, and as long as you're taking incremental steps and do a little bit of parallel processing, right?
Yeah.
Multitasking is not really possible. I can't, you can drive and listen to a podcast, but you can't work with your left hand and your right hand, in two different files. It's impossible, right? But the fact that you're almost like queuing up workloads in your mind, right? And if you have it in your unconscious mind, sometimes problems get solved next time you attack it. So it's a matter of taking the right breaks, dedicating the right amount of time, and focusing on outcome. What are the outcomes that you want, and am I driving the outcome? So that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Now, talking about the aspiring leaders. So if I ask you if you have to give one advice to the aspiring leaders in tech industry, what would that be?
Be hungry.
Hungry for work, hungry to learn.
Hungry to learn, hungry for success, hungry for making people around you successful, hungry for making your clients successful. Hungry and humble. Right? You will never be the smartest person in the room. I mean, in the room maybe, but you'll never be the smartest person everywhere you go, right? It's impossible. There are always smart people than you, but the difference between those smart people and you in terms of solving a problem and actually getting to an outcome will be the humility that we have and the care and your ability to bring people together to solve something.
Those are all wonderful takeaways, and thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Now, sort of, let's rewind the clock a little bit, and we would like to go back to your early days.
Sure.
Like, let's talk about your hometown, where you were born and brought up, and what are the values from your childhood that you still carry with you in your career?
That's a tricky question. Yeah. Sometimes a lot of those things are subconscious. You don't know it because you're sort of embedded into it through while you're growing up. I grew up in a small village, and I used to stay very close to my grandparents. They had a acreage, multiple animals, agriculture. So my childhood was filled with interaction with animals, and then there was a lot of trees and fruits and all that. So, eating those, climbing mango trees and eating mangoes on the trees, things of that sort, right? Pleasant. So if I were to say what are the values, I also grew up as I said, like we had agriculture, and a lot of people used to come and farm for us, farm laborers and all that. So I've seen a lot of hard work, and people making ends meet just by sheer hard work. And my own grandparents were very hardworking. They had the means to live well, but they were still very hardworking. So number one is hard work. Number two, I think in a way, humility was a part of that. I spent a lot of time with my great grandfather, believe it or not, when I was in the impressionable age of 5 to 10 years, I think. Maybe not quite 10 years. He was quite old by the time, but growing up quite a bit of time with him. And he was a towering figure, very capable person, but he was also very humble, right? Very helping and very humble. So that was the second. And third is be mindful of your resources and use them well. He used to say to me, if you put something on a plate to eat it, don't waste it. Eat as much as you want, right? But don't take more than you need, right? So there's a very valuable lesson there. It's about, there might be plentiful of things that you have access to, you have available, but just because you have access to it, don't feel entitled to use it and throw the remaining, right? There's a lot of people still wanting those resources, so use them well. That's probably the third one.
So your journey has been incredible, and thank you for sharing all those meaningful insights from your early days. Now, let's talk a bit about your education, Swaroop.
Sure.
You mentioned you did BSc and then you did your master's.
Yeah. I mean, I did a few degrees. I did, when you finish +2, you need to have good grades and you have to have a good understanding of what you studied to be able to do something meaningful, right? I did not have that because I was busy doing other things, random things. A lot of kids, a lot of kids might identify with me, but I wasn't serious about my studies at all or my life at all during those periods. Then I had decided to get somewhere. I got, thankfully, I got an admission to a computer science course, a BSc course, and that's kind of what my start was. And that was, once I started it, I started really liking it, right? So that's when I started focusing a lot more on studies, but I was never the studious type. It was not like books and all of that. It was just going around and having fun and lots of friends and all that. And I was still there. I did my master's in Bangalore with Christ University. Once I came to Calgary, I actually did an executive MBA program.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was, again, phenomenal experience. It was about 10 years ago, but full-time working, but at the same time, the intensity of a full-time course for a period of 2 years. That was quite stressful, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, right? And that was, again, not the bookish, studious type. That's not what you want in those courses. It was more interactions, collaboration, exchange and sharing of knowledge, etc. Then in 2020, I actually did a postgraduate program from Caltech in cloud computing.
Oh, you did quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things, right? I've always enjoyed studying. Well,
not initially.
In the last part, not initially, never initially. But so I've always enjoyed studying. I always still spend some time learning new things. I haven't done it in a while, but at least 3 years ago, I was still learning Python and coding and things of that sort. So I like all of that. But right now, time is limited.
Yeah.
I have two small kids, and they take a lot of my
Mhm.
time. So it's not always possible.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. Now, talking about kids, let's talk about your family. We would
Sure.
love to know who all are the key members in your family.
Yeah, I mean, here my wife, Preeta, she works for a law firm. She's a patent agent, so intellectual property. She's an engineer, but she's a patent agent who helps clients with patent applications and things of that sort. Rhea, my eldest 13-year-old daughter, she's in grade 7, just finishing up her grade 7 exams now, final exams now. And Gia, she is 5-year-old, 5.5. She's in kindergarten. So that's my immediate family. Back in India, my other family is in India. Back in India, I have my mother. My dad passed away, unfortunately, in 2021. And I have a brother in India, a younger brother. And my wife has both their parents pretty close by in India where my parents are, or my mother is, and my wife's brother is in San Fran. So yeah, that's a small family, but big family though, because my dad had 6 brothers and 1 sister.
Well, the extended
So
family.
each of them count multiplied by 2. That's like 16 people in the 16 cousins on one side, then another 7 or 8 on the other side. Right? So that's a big family.
So how often you visit India?
I try to go every couple of years, but it's becoming harder now.
Yeah.
Because you can't go to India for like 2 weeks. You need to go to India for like at least
At least a
4
month.
weeks. At least 4 weeks. So
Agree.
taking that time out is big. It's a bit harder. Kids are growing up. They have their exams. So the last time I was there was in 2023, but I want to go, if not this year, next year for sure. Yeah.
That's
I still
great.
love going there. I still love spending time there.
Swaroop, thank you for sharing your incredible journey with us. And we're almost nearing end of our wonderful discussion. And at the end, we have one round called as the rapid fire round,
Sure.
where I would be asking you some questions and I'll be expecting some quick answers from you.
We'll try.
Good luck. Ready?
Sure.
Okay. Android or iOS?
iOS.
Reading books or watching movies?
Watching movies.
Favorite singer if you listen to music?
Oh, there's a lot, but Kishore Kumar is probably top.
Nice. If meetings burn calories, how fit you would be by Friday?
Schwarzenegger. No, actually, but I do a lot of meetings. I won't be Schwarzenegger but quite fit.
Wonderful. PowerPoint decks or whiteboard scribbles?
Whiteboard scribbles.
Nice. And the last question. What's more unpredictable? Cloud migration or Canadian weather?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Talk about the Calgary weather.
That's a tough one. That's a very tough one. I don't know. It's a toss-up.
Both.
It's both. Yeah.
And that is the end of our rapid fire round. Thank you so much, Swaroop. Thank you for taking out time for us and sharing your journey with us. And it was really lovely chatting with you today.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity. Much appreciated.
Thanks.
I enjoyed it.